The Postal Service proposal to eliminate Saturday mail delivery is just one part of management's plan to slash service and weaken the nation's mail system. The USPS would close thousands of post offices, gut the mail processing network, remove mail collection boxes, and cut the workforce. The National Association of Letter Carriers, which represents 300,000 active and retired letter carriers, also is working to preserve Saturday's service. NALC President Fred Rolando addressed the convention.
Now, APWU and NALC, we share a common history of struggle. In the early years, that shared struggle was largely limited to the bargaining table, where for, some 20 years we negotiated together as part of a joint bargaining committee. In recent years, our partnership has broadened to include activism in politics, legislation, regulatory matters, and even in the court system. Every day, we work side by side to enact legislation to provide financial relief to the Postal Service by reforming the grossly unfair retiree health pre-funding provisions of the law. Every day this fall, activists from our unions are going to join together with our brothers and sisters in the AFL-CIO to do everything we can to prevent the radical Tea Party crowd from turning back the clock to the disastrous days of Bush economics. Every day, we fight together to protect the rights of postal employees when management crosses the line, as we did with our successful lawsuit against the Office of the Inspector General, when agents from that agency violated the privacy of our members' medical records. We did that together. And every day, the letter carriers of America know that they can count on the solidarity and the support of the APWU as we fight the Postal Service's misguided plan to eliminate Saturday delivery.
Rolando pledged the support of his union for the APWU in upcoming contract negotiations.
But the fight to save the Postal Service is going to have to take place at the bargaining table as well. In the next round of bargaining, we're going to have to be a little more creative than ever to both strengthen the Postal Service and to preserve good middle-class jobs. As I have told Bill and your leadership in Washington, NALC is committed to doing whatever we can to cooperate with and to assist the APWU in the upcoming round of bargaining. The full resources of my union will be at your union's disposal, because even though your contract expires a year before ours, we know that we both share the same basic goal for bargaining: to protect the standard of living of postal employees.
Representatives of postal unions from around the world are attending the convention. They spoke to delegates at an international forum where they said saving jobs and universal postal service is a global fight.
Pero sorpresivamente, y esto no solo pasó en Argentina.
In Argentina, there's been an attack against not just diminishing the importance of public services, but there's been an attack against this service, and not just the postal service, all over the country, all over Latin America, gradually and consistently.
Y en ese aspecto estaba también el servicio público postal. Y no la globalización.
They're trying to sell us about the liberalization of the market, in which the state is put aside and is not a participant on this process, which we call the liberalization of the market.
Up until the middle 90s, we had been part of an industry which seen extensive growth. Annually, the volume of postal deliveries increased, the turnover increased, as did the corresponding amount of work and number of jobs in the industry. But at this time, the trend turned, the curve flattened, and from 2000 and on, they faced downwards. We faced a very difficult question. What strategy should we adopt? Which goals should we aim at? The answers, however, were not so obvious. Because in the digital world, we don't have a counterpart who alone can commit to the agreed outcome of a negotiation. It is the customers' individual choices which affects our members' future working conditions.
You must have an idea, you must have a vision about what you think will be the future of your own sector. What kind of expansion of services you can get out, what kind of service you can get to the population. And we say to the Harper government, the Canadian government, and we said to Canada Post that, yes, you have technological change, but the productivity gains of these changes have to be shared with the workers and have to be shared too with the population, with the public, with the citizens of the country. And that's the fight we're doing. If you have a vision, and after that you have to get out and get the support of the public. And I think that's the same fight you are having here in the state. That's the same fight we are having all over the world to protect what we have as workers and make a better society for us and for our family.
People have got to keep fighting for 6-day delivery because there are a number of countries that are already 5-day delivery and several talking about going to 3-day delivery. They're talking about, hey, we can't afford 5 days now we've got to go to 3, and it'll be down to 2 and 1 days if we're not careful. And for us, we think this is a lunatic decision. Our competition's the internet, which is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Why would we try and make a decision about going to from 6 days to 5 days when our competition's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? All the surveys that have been done in many countries of the world show that ordinary citizens say, don't change my postal service to 5 days. So the reaction from ordinary people, the people that collect the mail, that want their mail, is 6 days. This is reaction from people who are worried about how much it's going to cost, whether they are going to be able to provide the service. They're not thinking about how they should be doing this. They're thinking about how much money it's costing.
Service. An interesting fact we found out from Postcom, which is the regulatory authority in the UK. One of the biggest users of Royal Mail are internet-based companies. It's very easy when you're talking to postal workers and you say to them, what's your vision of the post office? It usually means better pay, better conditions, all absolutely legitimate things. But what does the post office look like in the future? And I think that one of the great problems that we have as trade unions, we tend to be reactive. We are not spectators in our industry. We are actors. What we do matters. So your strike 40 years ago made a difference for the future of postal workers. And what we do absolutely matters. So we do need a vision of what postal services look like.
There's a globalized industry, truly, not just now, but for all the times, is the postal service.
When the National Convention ends, postal worker delegates will have the opportunity to attend workshops on a variety of topics. Joyce Robinson, Director of Research and Education, explains.
And on the Saturday after the convention, Saturday, August the 28th, we have scheduled post-convention workshops. We have something for everyone. We have protecting clerk work in smaller offices. We have accessing. A lot of people are talking about accessing, and they're experiencing where they're being moved miles and miles away, hundreds and hundreds of miles away from their homes and their families, and it's a hardship. So we are covering that workshop. The one the clerks are having problems, we are covering that workshop. We are covering retirement issues. We are covering the motor vehicle service division issues and the maintenance craft issues. We have something for everybody. We even covering dealing with difficult people. So if you have a problem with that, we have our people that's having problem with the inspection service, with the OIG, Office of Inspector Generals. We have a workshop on that. So I think I have a total of about 24 workshops. So it's something for everybody, you know. So I want to tell the delegates to come on out and take advantage of the workshop, because education is definitely the key to success.